So Zane is basically a character in Aphmau that is very, very emo. But his entire thing is that he really likes My Little Pony, or, they call it My Little Horsies. Really, he only wears black clothing, that kind of stuff. And he literally has no friends. In the prequel to My Street, Phoenix Drop High, it is literally shown that he has 0 friends, has a really hard time making friends. In the beginnings of My Street, before he becomes friends with Aphmau, he is literally hated, honestly. He also was in a gang in high school. So the fact that he was into My Little Pony is supposed to be a running bit. He is very dark, but he likes cute things. He really likes cutesy things. He likes cupcakes. He likes My Little Pony. But I think there's more to it than just, the ironicness. Is that a word? I don't know, but I'm going to use it. I made it up then. The reason I think this is because Aphmau has a history of making things be more than what they look like. Think about Aaron from My Street. During the beginning seasons of My Street, he wears a bandana, and it's supposed to just make him look cool. I think that the only reason she added that at the beginning was because it looked cool. It made him mysterious, and that was kind of Aaron's whole thing, is that he was really mysterious, he was cool, he was chill. He didn't chase after Aphmau like all the other characters did. In the later seasons of Aphmau, when Aphmau decided to take a more serious approach with My Street and started adding, werewolves and the Ultima werewolf and all of that, the bandana came with it. She decided to add an actual purpose for the bandana, and we find out that the reason that Aaron was wearing that bandana in the earlier seasons of My Street was because he was hiding his Ultima eyes, which, if you don't know, the Ultima eyes are what turns humans into werewolves. He has to cover them, because if he stares at someone with his Ultima eyes, they will turn into a werewolf. That was genius to me. I just have to say that was an absolutely genius thing to put into the show, to take something that was originally just meant to make the character look cool and turn it into an actual part of their personality is crazy to me. So that being said, I think that Zane's obsession with cutesy things and My Little Pony is the exact same thing. It might not be as insane as the bandana thing for Aaron. I think it's more of a hidden gem, but I still think that there's a little bit more to it. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, Zane literally has no friends. In the beginnings of Phoenix Drop High, he really is obsessed with the Shadow Knights. He wants to be in the Shadow Knights really, really bad, but they hate him. They think he's lame. They think he's a loser. They want him out. Aphmau tries being his friend, but he is just not having it. He does not want to be in Gar's shadow. He is just very edgy overall, not having a fun time in high school, not having a good social life, is really struggling. Eventually, he does become friends with Aphmau in the later parts of season 1 of My Street, but only after he learns about the magic of friendship. But he should kind of already know about the magic of friendship if he's so obsessed with My Little Pony. But I think that Zane used My Little Pony and cutesy things as a coping mechanism, and I think that's really important for us to know. We know that Zane's favorite My Little Pony character is Pinkie Pie, or the My Little Horsie's equivalent of Pinkie Cake. He goes on an entire adventure with her in the Christmas special where he tries to steal Christmas because he's upset that they all had parties without him. I think that's really important for us to note, because his favorite character is the character that is representing the element of laughter. Zane literally has not laughed in a not evil way in any of the My Street seasons, I don't think. He wants to laugh. I just don't think he's been given a reason to. And I think that's why he uses My Little Pony as kind of a coping mechanism. I think he looks up to the way that they can be friends. I think he looks up to the way that Pinkie Pie can laugh at anything and can be happy no matter what. I don't think that he knows how to be happy no matter what. I don't think he learned how to do that. And I think that that is what makes him so emo and edgy, I guess. He literally does not know how to make friends or how to be cool or how to be joyful, really. He's a little bit bitter because, he's living under Gar's shadow. Obviously, whenever he does try to make friends, as we saw in Phoenix Drop High, they think he's lame. He think he's not cool, or they think he's not as good as his brother Gareth, because Gareth was a really cool kid. He was captain of the baseball team. He had a lot of girls that liked him. He had a lot of friends, and Zane was not. Zane was not seen that way. Zane was seen as the lame younger brother. And so I think that he really looked up to the way that Pinkie Pie was not seen this way. She was seen as somebody who could laugh in any situation. And so I think he used as a coping mechanism. I don't think he used My Little Pony to learn about friendship. I think he used it to kind of experience friendship because he couldn't experience it in real life no matter how hard he tried. And that's really sad. And I love Zane, and I'm really glad that he became friends with Aphmau at the end of the series. But I do think that's why he is so obsessed with cutesy things. I think it's his way of coping with the fact that his life is just not turning out the way he wanted it to. I think that he wants friends. I think he wants to be like Pinkie Pie. I think he wants to be able to like cute things and show people that, and show people his true self, but he's just not able to do that, and he's using My Little Pony to wish he could do that. That being said, that kind of goes into his relationship with Kawaii-chan in the later seasons. So whenever he starts liking Kawaii-chan, at first she thinks that she's really annoying, which I think is hilarious because Kawaii-chan is literally just Pinkie Pie in a different font. I think it's because he kind of envied her a little bit. He envied her ability to be herself. Later on, we do find out that she's not being herself. She's trying to stand out because of her home problems. But, he doesn't know that. He just sees her as this person who's able to be everything that he wants to be. I think the hatred for her kind of comes out of his envy a little bit. So eventually he ends up getting to know her. He ends up talking to her and getting to know her and finding out about her home life and why she goes by Kawaii-chan when her real name is Nana. He finds out why she is able to like cutesy things like this out loud. It's because she was given no attention at home. She had no way to stand out, and she just wanted to be seen. And I think that's when his attraction to her really began, because he realized that she was just like him. She also wanted to be seen for more than what she looked like, and she also wanted to laugh in the face of bad things. The only difference is that he went about it in a way of liking cutesy things behind the scenes and using it to cope, where she went about it in a way where she kind of made cutesy things her personality so that maybe one day somebody would look at her. So both of these characters liked cutesy things, but both of them went about it in different ways and used them to cope in different ways. And I think that stark contrast is what makes the show so good and what makes these characters so good and what makes the ship so good, right? Because also Zane had never liked another character, right? He had never been in love with another character. There were implications of him having a crush on Aphmau in season 1 a little bit, but I believe that was more of him kind of never having a friend before, never being that close to someone before. I think that was where that confusion came from. I don't think he ever actually was in love with her. I think he just kind of confused his closeness with her with love, because he didn't know what love was, but he also didn't know what friendship was. Very easy to confuse the two if you've never experienced either one. So then he meets Kawaii-chan and he falls in love with her. You'll notice that he also becomes softer as a person after this. We see him experiencing emotions that we've never seen him experience, at least in front of us before. I feel like she kind of brings out the side of him that he wants people to see. For lack of better term, she kind of brings out the pinky cake in him. We see him start to communicate what he wants from her and actually talk to her about what he wants out of the relationship, what he's comfortable with, what he's not comfortable with. We see that she kind of starts moving really fast in the relationship, and he's like, I don't want that. I want to take things slow and I want to be with you properly. So that's also a very important thing to note, is that she kind of brings out that thing in him. So all of this to say, I just think it's really interesting that Aphmau gave us two characters that kind of come from the same background, come from this background of wanting to be more, of wanting to show themselves, be seen for more than their family. Because again, Gareth kind of put Zane in his shadow a little bit, unintentionally of course, and Kawaii-chan had a very crowded home life where she had so many siblings that nobody was able to see her. So both of them used these cute, adorable things to cope in completely different ways, and I think that contrast is so interesting, and I think Aphmau is so unbelievably smart for that.